Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside and a cloudy, misty day here in North Carolina. We're gonna have some fun today and get a project underway that I have been wanting and needing to do for about a year now. Main goal for today is we are going to clean up the tree line behind me. There are a few trees that need to come out. We need to limb up some trees so that we get good sunlight in here. And then the ultimate goal is to get, it's less than 10 camellias that I bought a year ago. Yep. My mama and I went to go visit Camellia Forest in kind of the Raleigh-Durham area of North Carolina, and those camellias have been sitting in a pot for a year now at the garden shed. So that is why we are finally getting all this cleaned up so we can get those camellias in the ground. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of give you an overview of our space, let you know where we are, why we're doing what we're doing, and then we're gonna have some fun. I think this is fun. I love tidying up tree lines and woods. I just think it just makes everything look nice and neat, and then our plants are nice and happy because they get a little bit more sunlight. Here we are, we're right off of the house, and you can see we have the backyard beds right here. This is the area that we're talking about. We have a very underdeveloped, neglected woodland garden here along the creek. The creek is literally on the other side of those big azaleas. So we have a creek here that runs the whole length. Jerry and I first cleaned this creek out before we even built our house. So that would have been at least 20 years ago now, and it really has not been maintained since then. You know, kids, family, work, the whole 9 yards. What we're gonna do today is we have this it is like a hybrid of a Bradford pear, a Callery pear, and it is a huge nuisance. Before we knew better, Jerry dug it up out of the woods and planted it here. It does do pretty white flowers in the early spring. You probably saw it on some videos, and most people were asking, but it reseeds and it has massive thorns. So this baby is coming out, and it will do really nicely coming out because my azaleas back here, these are just traditional azaleas that I took off from my mama's, and I have a macrophylla hydrangea back there. So it is coming out for sure. And then there's all sorts of great plants that are in here. They've just been neglected. So like, not that this has been neglected, but this is my limelight hydrangea, and we have lots of azaleas. We have irises. I've got Japanese anemone, those kinds of things that just need some more sun. We're gonna take out the leaners. You can see we've got a couple of cherry trees here that are really leaning and preventing any kind of sunlight or good sunlight coming in. So we are gonna take those out. I do not lightly take trees out. I'm very aware and try to be a very good steward of what the Lord has given us here at this land. But also, I know that if a tree is leaning at a 90-degree angle, it doesn't have much of a life. So we're gonna get it out. I've got a couple of those that just need to come out. While we're in here, we're also going to limb up some things. So we've got like oak trees that have limbs that are coming out. They just need to come out. I've got that whole, oh Jenny, what's that lovely little patch of green? Briars. Yeah, those are all briars, and those two need to come out. So as we're walking through here, I think you will see really all of these limbs that are coming out at a 90-degree angle, very low. Like my poor azaleas really have not bloomed well in several years because they're just not getting the light. And you can see there's all sorts of kind of what I just call junk trees that are coming up. Like this is some sort of natural, I don't know if this is a type of like a privet, what this thing is. Obviously it needs to come out. And look at this poor azalea right here, y'all. Whatever this little, well, I've got a couple of things. I've got some little hardwood tree coming up, and then this massive limb right here. I mean, it is just smothering. There's a holly in there. I mean, dear heavens, y'all, come on now. It's like, get it together, woman. But you can just see just how much of a mess. And like here we have this oak tree that is just at such a crazy angle. It just needs to come out. There are azaleas all in here, and then these are all briars right here. Thorns, nastiness, not good. And then more just junk that's growing in here has completely overtaken these poor azaleas. So all of this just needs to get cleaned up. Now, do I expect flowers off of my azaleas this year? No, I do not. And in fact, once this whole thing is over and we get this whole project done, it'll probably be a really good thing for me to come in here and trim back, prune back these azaleas. These are your traditional southern azaleas. They only bloom once a year. They bloom on old growth, but they're gorgeous in springtime, that Easter time. This whole section right here is a massive group of azaleas. But do you know what this lovely vine is? Do you know what this is? Honeysuckle, which while I adore honeysuckle, I don't adore the fact that it has literally covered these azaleas. It is strangling them. So this will be kind of an ongoing thing to get the honeysuckle under control. But by cleaning all of this out and exposing the azaleas to some sunlight, because they need that to live, then I'll shape them up, cut them back this year. It'll have time for them to regrow, put on brand new growth, new buds for next year. So this time next year, we should have a really nice display of beautiful flowers, as long as the weather cooperates. All right, so that's going to be down in here. Now the main area where the camellias are going to go is down in this empty section right here. We had talked about adding a bridge across the creek. You can see maybe where Jackson has been constructing. He has a little bit of a bridge, a very very rustic bridge down through here, but the bridge was going to go right here. See, grapevine, oh, that's got to come out. Very rustic board bridge right here. So we were going to create and build a bridge to connect from the house property over there, because we do have that frame of a greenhouse over there. We've decided now we are not going to do that. The whole reason we were going to create the bridge and over there is because we were going to put originally the chicken coop over there. Well, you know that that plan has changed. So there's no need to do the bridge, but we do have this great area, gets good morning sun, and I have lots of room for my camellias to grow. So that's where we're going to come in here and take out, again, some leaners. Now, the one exception to the leaning rule is this tree right here. It is a stunning maple, and in the fall, it is the most brilliant, glorious shade of yellow. And so that is going to stay. We are not going to take it out. We might limb up a couple of things underneath it, but it is staying. And so we have got a good work ahead of us. It's gonna be lots of fun. I cannot wait to get this done. So it's gonna be myself, Jerry, I think Jackson's going to join us. Roman is here with us, and we are going to get all of this done and then get it moved out. Hopefully the rain will hold off for us so we can get all this great work done. So let's just get started. Howdy, my friends. So we stopped for a little bit of a lunch break. We've gotten a lot of things cleaned up. It looks really great. I'll show you that when we get done planting the camellias. But I have the 6 camellias back here in Johnny that we're going to go ahead and get planted. It's raining, and it's raining pretty nice and steady. So we'll see how much as far as more of the clearing we get done today. But we want to get these camellias in the ground because that space is nice and prepped behind me, so we are good to go on that. So we're getting the essentials done as far as getting these into the ground. We are going to just go ahead and use the power planter auger because these are just 3 gallons, and then I have 2 of them that are 1 gallons. Again, these camellias have been sitting in a pot for a year. Some of them are looking rough, but the ones that look rough, like poor little sea foam right here, yeah, she's sad, but look, there is new growth popping up. So that is why we are so bent on getting these in the ground today. What I'm going to do is, these are all japonicas that we are going to put in the ground, and because we're doing this in the rain, and honestly I just want to like wrap this up, I'm going to put graphics up and all the information on the different plants that we are putting into the ground today. That way you can see them all, because I don't remember everybody, and I don't remember all their specifications. So instead of me just completely messing it up, I'm just gonna put the graphics and all the information, beautiful pictures for you up on the screen. So you, if you're interested in those, you can add them. Again, they are all 3 gallons. There are 2 that are a 1 gallon. The space that we're going to put them in is right here, in this place that has been cleared with the red mud. Obviously, we've got this beautiful green grass that is doing so nicely. So Jerry was trying to avoid running back and forth in the bobcat, so he just kept running back and forth right here, which is great because that's where the camellias are going to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to space these out through here. The idea is not to create a whole brand new like flower bed, but to have these camellias blend in and just be kind of the natural part of an extension of the bed that's already there. This is kind of like what I talk about, put the bones in your flower bed. Camellias, especially japonicas, tend to be very slow growers. These are some of my bones right here. That's why I want to get them in the ground. We're going to use our land and seed compost, of course. We're going to use our biotone. Rainy days are actually a really good day to plant because the plants transition really well. It just may not be so much fun as a gardener to do it that way. So we're going to space them out, figure out exactly where we're going to go. Basically, the color is what's going to determine. Maybe I don't want 2 reds right beside each other, or maybe I do want 2 reds right beside each other. So we're going to space them out, and then we'll show you how we're going to plant, because here comes more rain right now. All right, my friends, so we got all 6 of the camellias planted. Very happy about that. I am a muddy mess. I will show you my shoes here in just a second. But basically what we did is, yes, we kept them in pretty much of a straight line. You'll be able to see, of course, all the dark circles. That is the land and sea. We went ahead and dumped a bag of land and sea around the pot before we actually planted it. That way, when we were auging our hole, it got mixed in, and then the top dress as well. Just to give you a little idea how muddy it is in our red clay soil. There you go. Lovely mess. And then my assistant, she's a day late and a dollar short, trying to dig a hole for me. As far as the colors, I do remember this is sea foam, which is going to be a pure white. All of these are going to be 8 feet tall or 7 feet tall, but only 3 to 4 foot wide. So sea foam, then we've got a red, I don't remember, this might either be Jack's or black tie. I'll have it all up on the screen for you. Then we have, there's a pink perfection in here somewhere, but basically very kind of at Valentine's colors. It is white, red, pink, red, pink, and then a white down here. Not a pure white, it has a little bit of pink in it. So that is the deal on that. Just to give you a bit of a perspective of where we are, of course, we did go ahead and whack those azaleas back in order to get the honeysuckle out. You can see how much more open it is already, but here we are. I mean, it's literally right off of the back of the house. So when we're sitting on the patio or looking out the windows of the house, we'll be able to see these gorgeous camellias. Now it is, like I said, raining, has been raining, and we do have our nice pretty grass. If Jerry takes the bobcat and even just picks up all that stuff with the grapple, just the fact of moving the bobcat is going to tear up the grass. So we're not going to do that. We're going to leave the mess. Maybe till tomorrow. I will let him figure that out as far as like how long he's going to leave it. But and maybe he changes his mind. I don't know. But just to give you an idea on how everything looks right now, Roman is still working. He did an excellent job as far as felling those 2 cherry trees. Did it perfectly. I showed you, or I will show you, that he got it laid down right here on the edge. Did not touch the flower bed at all. We've got some really nice logs over there for some firewood. So those are all stacked up over there. But lots of good open room. Taking those cherry trees out, we've got lots of room for this poplar then to fill in on the back. As Roman was saying, it was starting to look a little bit heavy-sided on this side of the house, which is the last thing you want in case it comes down. You don't want it to go towards the house. But we've got some debris here to clean up. Everything is looking great and doing wonderful. Another perspective shows you how kind of everything is nice and cleaned up over here. Just doing great. So what we're really going to focus on this coming into really the next calendar year, as far as this bed goes, is to keep it cleaned out. I really don't have any plans on planting any plants in this flower bed because, or even just this area, I wouldn't necessarily call it a flower bed, but this area, because we've got so much invasive, noxious weeds that we've got to make sure we take care of. So we've got honeysuckle, we've got the briars, we've got some type of like ligustrum or privet in here that's going. Thank goodness we don't have any poison ivy. There was one little clump. Grapevine is in here. So if you've dealt with any of those things, you know that it can be a real pain when they start getting intertwined in your plants. And that's what we had to do with our azaleas, is actually like cut them back and ripping it out. So we've really got to keep all that under control, and then we can come in and have fun planting things. Plus, I have no thoughts on what I want to put in here. So it's not like I have plants waiting to go in here. So we're going to keep that maintained. You can see last year I had spent some time here getting those cleaned up, and they look really nice. So then the next big main thing really in here to to do today would be to take down this this pear. So we'll see if that happens today. Like I said, it is cold, it is wet, it is muddy, it's yeah, but we have the time. So anyway, we'll see. If we do something else, I'll show it to you in just a second. But as always, thanks so much for growing with Creekside. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.